Did you ever get your antenna back together?
No, I'm on a temporary antenna and kilowatt on the amp tonight. My amp was out too for a bit, but I glued it back together again, so all is well in paradise for the moment. As soon as we get a little bit of weather, I'm going to yank the big antenna down out of the trees and tear it apart and get 3 foot added to each side and get the hard line hooked to it. And I'll put it up about 10 foot off the ground and get everything adjusted just so, and once I get it all the way I want it, then I'll pull it back up in the trees where it belongs, up at the 110 foot mark.
Roger. You don't find any SWR shift from 10 foot to 100 foot?
Usually if you set it at the lower height, when you pull it up, it usually gets better instead of worse. So typically if you get it pretty good on the ground, it's usually pretty good in the air.
Roger. Your center frequency is what, 3850 you're going for?
Well, with as big as that stuff is, I'll probably go for 3800 or maybe here, depending. I want it to be able to DX with down in the window, and I want it to be flat here, so probably more flat here than down there. I want it usable both places, which it's capable of.
Roger, Roger. Well, I imagine your Q is fairly low with that bigger diameter.
It has quite a large coverage area. I just right now it's up the band quite a bit because it's only cut at like 114 feet. It's a little bit short, so I'm going to add 3 feet to each side and see where that puts me. It should put me somewhere between here and 3800. Morning, Nathan.
Good morning, Steve.
How you been, Jim? Haven't heard you for a while.
Been doing pretty good. I think I've about chased all my demons away, RF and the AF stuff, you know. It's kind of a thing where you squish it on one band and it pops up on another band, and so. But I've been through the bands about 3 times now, and I think I've about got all of the RF out of the AF, particularly like in the video recorder. That was the thing, you know, when the SP220 was doing a K, that RF tended to want to wander into the video recorder audio.
Okay, well, hopefully you got it all nailed down now.
Roger, Roger. Well, it took 3 ground rods, 2 spider ground systems, and some, you know, a chain. Actually, a chain. You know, they say don't chain your grounds, but actually, when you get right down to the low audio situation, sometimes just a simple chain will take the audio or the RF from one place to the other place without going, you know, the RF traveling through the audio circuit.
Okay, well, glad you got it all shoved out of there. Have you been working with your 2 meter stuff any?
Not really. No, I've been mainly HF, trying to get everything, you know, situated. And I did run across Mount Mitchell, I think last night or the night before. I was getting about 3 lights back from Mount Mitchell, which is about 400 miles. But it was time for dinner, you know, and I had to weigh the importance.
I completely understand the importance there. I know who won out. It wasn't Mount Mitchell.
No, I said, I'll have to, as tempting as this is, I'll have to catch you guys later.
I've got another one for you. Sometime whenever you get around to trying some sideband stuff, you need to spin around toward Chillicothe, Ohio. There's a fella up there. He's a blind ham. and he runs 3 nets. One, it's either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're each at 8 o'clock, and one's they're all sideband. One, it's 2 meters the first night, 220 the second night, and 440 the third night. And he does that weekly, and sometime you want to see if you can hear up that way and listen to some of that. If not, check in. Should at least be able to hear up there good enough to pick those guys up. But he has quite a large gathering that checks in there from what I'm hearing. And that gentleman actually holds the longest contact ever made to date anyways on 1296. He talked from Chillicothe, Ohio to some damn where in Texas on 1296.
Roger, Roger. What kind of range is he getting on 70 centimeters?
I think at least 500 miles. He's got quite an array of antennas and such on sidebands, and part of it's conditions, part of it's just what he's running and all that. But he's on the highest point in the county that he lives in, which I believe is Ross County. I believe. I'd have to look it up again to see, but he's at like almost 1,400 feet in Ohio, and that's pretty high for Ohio, for that area of Ohio anyways. So he's got a really good location there, and he's only got like a 30 or 40 foot tower, but he's got a crap load of stacked antennas.
Roger. Well, when you have when you're 100 foot above average terrain, you don't need much tower because you're already above average terrain, so there's nothing that's going to get in your way. And 500 miles is a nice little poke on UHF. I mean, that's that's conditions and a half there.
Yeah, I think here where I'm at, I'm about. Just my elevation, I'm about 100 feet above average terrain with my elevation, and then once the tower goes up, I'll be another 100 feet above that into the horizon, so that should work relatively well once they ever get all my ducks in a row. But the height for those bands is definitely what makes it work.
Roger. Yeah, we're kind of on a bluff here. We're about halfway between the city of New Albany and a ridge called Floyd's Knobs. And Floyd's Knobs is quite a little chain of hills, or, I forget what exactly their altitude is, but they block me going north. I can't go north, but like I say, I am about 100 foot above average terrain in the immediate area, and I've got about a 50-foot tower. I have 3 towers, 150 and 2 35s, and I've got stacked 7 stacked 20s on the 35-foot, and a GP9 at about 15 feet of pipe above the 50-foot tower.
Okay, well, you're up fairly high then for where you're at, too. Well, anyways, I'll be quiet and let these other guys get back to yakking a little bit there and listen a little bit. Started running my chops there and not taking a break. W8OO. 1:30 there. I need to find something to drink, too, so just give me 1 second and I'll be back.
Roger, Roger. KC9VKV.